Greetings, and thank you for joining me in my offering to this summit. Being a part of the book, Her Coronation, Sacred Stories of Initiation and Spiritual Sovereignty, has been deeply meaningful process for me. Sharing my story titled A Gift of Grief felt quite vulnerable, but also it was something that I needed to do. It needed to be shared so that readers may find a way to be open to their own vulnerability and the gifts that can come from within. Understandably, this openness is not for everyone, but if there is a place in your life that would benefit from exploring, I hope you would consider doing so in a safe way. I found this by talking to the redwood trees. As for this offering, I would like to share with you a story of how I came to develop my community ministry, one that I named Five Seeds Ministry. The story goes something like this. I heard the call to ministry in my mid-40s, and it took quite a while for me to answer, but once I did, most things fell well into place. I pursued a bachelor's degree at the California Institute of Integral Studies and their Bachelor of Arts completion program. This was a year-long cohort education model, and it was a perfect place for me to learn. As an aside, if you are not familiar with Howard Gardner's ways of knowing and multiple intelligences, I encourage you to have a look at it. I found it very insightful and empowering. I then attended a Unitarian Universalist and interfaith seminary called Star King School for the Ministry. This also provided an education model that worked with my ways of knowing, and I am deeply grateful for this. While in seminary, professors and my advisor all encouraged me to consider congregational ministry, or what is also called parish ministry. I have to admit, I was rather flattered to be seen in that light because congregational ministry is a huge responsibility that entails being a significant spiritual leader and an administrative leader for a congregation of people who are depending upon you. But in truth, every time I thought to do that, I got a knot in my stomach. My gut wisdom was saying, no, that is not for you. But I argued, parish ministry is very well established. I could just step into the stream of what is already in motion. I would receive a lot of support from structures that are already in place and enjoy a model that has withstood the test of time. After graduating with a Master of Divinity, something I never in my life thought I would accomplish, considering the kind of student I was as a kid, I then found myself at a crossroads. What do I do with this education and this ministerial calling? So I live in a semi-rural neighborhood, and while walking down the street in discernment, I called out to the redwoods and I said, what am I to do? I don't want to go into parish ministry. I don't want to attend all those meetings and be in the middle of all that structure and preconceived notions. To which the calm, thoughtful, and wise redwood trees responded, in my mind, of course. Then what do you want to do? Well, great question. I started ticking off on my fingers. I want to continue hospice and chaplaincy work. I love being in the pulpit and creating meaningful Sunday morning services, weddings, child dedications, celebrations of life, as well as seasonal rituals. I am passionate about social justice, and I know that my way of communicating is equitable, relational, and clear. As a certified soul collage facilitator, along with the value of somatic work, I could combine these as a healing arts modality. And I have already established dance as a spiritual practice, a conscious dance practice and moving meditation, a way of dancing with our souls that help us gain insight. Well, alrighty then. I have identified 5 things that Spirit has called me to do. And then came the cosmic download, and it all became very clear. Thus was born 5 Seeds Ministry. These are composed of tending grief, celebrations that honor life and death, communication and justice for all, artistic and somatic insights, and dance as a spiritual practice. With the help of my beloved and techie husband, I created a website. I aligned the actual seeds with metaphoric seeds and had a wonderful time creating mandalas and taking photos of them for the website, one of which is my background. So I'll back up so you can see it. Creating text and describing what the seeds have to offer came easily. I had business cards and bookmarks and journals made featuring the mandalas, and I was ready to launch. There's more to that, but right now, let's go to the moral of this story. This is an invitation to listen to that still small voice within your soul. It whispers wisdom. It shows you signs through synchronicities. True, sometimes it is born of frustration and great loss, and it is accompanied with a firm declaration of what one does not want to do, thereby making way for what one does want to do. I believe we are all embodied spirits, and when we are born, the spirit becomes our soul, and our soul has a purpose. And not all purposes are grand, and they don't have to be. But all purposes are meaningful, and they give us a deep, rich quality of life. So may you be inspired to listen to the still, small voice of your soul. May you be willing to be vulnerable and perhaps a little crazy by talking to the trees. May you see the signs, the synchronicities, and may they guide you and grow your soul in sacred ways. To this I say, blessed be.